Videos rolling, audio in 3, 2, 1.
Mondo,
Huh.
a wise man once said, sometimes a microphone is just a microphone, but sometimes it's a big black. Anyhow, welcome
Where I heard
to
that
the
before. Where is that from?
George Carlin.
Okay, yeah, I was like, it sounds
So,
familiar.
so he was referencing Sigmund Freud,
Okay.
uh, famous psychologist slash guy who wanted to bang his mom.
Did he?
Eh, and Sigmund Freud had a line that said, "Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar," meaning it's there doesn't have to be sexual reference and weird psychological things
Mm-hmm.
tied to everything. And George Carlin, genius comedian, response was, "Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, and sometimes it's a big brown dick."
Ah, got it. Yeah, I heard it before. I just didn't
Hmm.
remember who it was.
Yeah, that was the whole breakdown.
Okay.
The little, not quite etymology, the history, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, basically that was all to say. Welcome to the Degenerates Clubhouse, degenerates. Let's fucking get after it.
I like how we welcome people with talking about dicks in their mouth.
Yeah, that was the first like actual like true cold open we did.
Yeah.
I mean that was just a little slice of. I mean, did I sort of almost kind of a little bit deep throat to the mic right before you guys came on because
Uh-huh.
Mondo told me to get my mouth on the mic.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I don't know. It's not captured on camera, so
Uh-uh.
it's lost to history.
So you think. I started streaming before you did that.
Fuck. I'm found out.
So those of you who's listening to the audio, if you want to see Aaron deep throat a microphone.
So, like Sigmund Freud said, sometimes a microphone is just a microphone. On this episode of the Degenerates Clubhouse, we've got a Florida man story.
Okay.
We've got some Reddit.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Sweet Tooth,
Uh-huh.
the Netflix show.
Yep.
And then just to kick things off, it was 2 episodes I tried Freestyle Dr. Seuss.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give it a second shot. I'm definitely,
Sure.
I'm still tired, but I'm not nearly as tired as I was last time.
Okay.
And while you were telling me, I think the Reddit questions, I started just trying to do some in my head just to see if I was on, and it wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was at least random words. So let's give this a shot, Mondo. Freestyle Dr. Seuss. Give me 3 random words.
Camel toe.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Blowjob.
Dude.
Dog biscuits. Good luck, sir. May the force be with you.
So I think the one thing that I did realize from the last one is I should really lean into the Dr. Seuss of it, because like he does a lot of repetition.
Uh-huh.
He's saying it a lot, and then also I should, if I can say something maybe that's not perfect for like a story, but just sounds cool lyrically, I should do that.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to like tell like line for line a story and keep it rhyming. It got difficult. So the words are camel toe, blowjob, and dog biscuits.
Yep.
We're going to title this story "The Worst Visit to the Pet Shop Ever."
Nice. Or the best. If it involves camel toe and blowjobs. Go on.
All right. I'm trying to think how to start it. This is a story about the pet shop and a little boy named Timmy who wanted a dog. He said, Mommy, please take me to the pet shop. I want a fluffy dog, and I'm going to name him Bob." And she's like, "You're going to name your dog Bob? That's fucking weird, Timmy." And he's like, "Dude, you want me to name him Jimmy? Or I can name him Frank?" And she's like, "No, you're not supposed to give them human names. That's fucking crazy." What did I name the kid? Whatever. It's insane. You're supposed to name him like Scruff or Rover or Spot. And he's like, "Well, my dog's name's going to be Bob, bitch. Now take me to the pet shop." And so Timmy and his mom went to the pet shop and they looked at some cats and some fish and then some dogs. And all the dogs were nice and they were cute and they wagged their tails. And Timmy thought I could take them home. Fuck, oh, how can I not come rhyme with tails? I could take them home, and we could play with a pail.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, a kid and a dog playing with a pail. That's fucking cool.
Uh-huh.
You make sandcastles, and the dog will sit there and drool. Yeah, they could play with a pail. Just because I couldn't come up with a better rhyme. Fuck you, Mondo. This is hard to do in time. So anyhow, they're looking at all the dogs, and most of them are cute and they're playful. But there was one in the back who looked angry. And they said, whoa, whoa, no, stay away from that one. He's the meanest of dogs. He fucks up the cats. He ate one of the frogs. And once we had a camel, and that dog bit off his toe. You cannot take that dog with you to your home. He's a certified killer, even though he's just a pup. That dog is fucking crazy. I promise you, he's enough. And Timmy was like, yo, I want a dog named Bob who's hard as fuck. I'm going to train Bob to protect the house. And if a burglar comes in, Bob's going to bite off his dick.
Oh.
And that's just where he'll begin. Bob will be a straight up psychopath. And that you can bank on, because Bob's going to be our guard dog. And then, wait, I can't come up with a rhyme for bank on. Wait, he's going to be our guard dog, and that you can bank on. And that poor burglar will never have another wank on.
Oh, shit. That makes sense.
And the guy at the pet shop was, damn, Timmy, that shit is dark. You don't fuck around when you take your dog to the park. And like, Timmy's like, no, son, me and Bob roll hard. Now, are you going to give me that dog? Mom, charge it on your card. And Bob came to the front of the glass and he growled at Timmy. And Timmy's like, Bob, don't fuck around. Look, I've got something nice for you to eat. Whatever. I fucked that rhyme up. We're just going to keep going. We'll keep it discreet. He pulled out a dog biscuit and he held it up to Bob. And Bob's like, oh shit, I want to eat that in one bite. I'm starting to lose the rhymes. Mm-hmm. I should finish this up quite soon. So he gave Bob the dog biscuit, and Bob ate it up in one gulp, and Timmy took him home. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I was going good for a while, and I'm like, and I ran out of steam.
All right.
You know what? I couldn't land the plane on that one, Mondo.
No,
I couldn't, but I think I started out pretty good. I think it started out pretty Dr. Seussical.
Conceptually, the story was funny.
Yeah, I was just my brain ran out of juice. I mean, it's really disappointing because I was trying to work up to Bob biting a burglar's dick off, mm-hmm. and that burglar being from Florida, and it was going to lead right into Florida Man, and I was trying to think too many steps ahead.
Yeah,
and I forgot about this step right there.
Yep,
and that's where I fucked up, guys. I know I made it sound easy. It's not that easy.
You made it sound easy.
I made it sound. You're like, how does he do that? That was so amazing.
I'm willing to bet all 10 of our listeners are like, I can do better.
Fucking try.
Let's see it.
Fucking try. It's, and here's the other thing. Doing it in your head, much easier when you have to actually do it and say it out loud. There's like that brain to mouth component, which actually makes it tougher.
Yeah.
And then you're on the podcast. I mean, so if we have a listener that thinks they can do better, dude, well, I'll figure out how to set up call-ins, and you can spit a freestyle Dr. Seuss rhyme.
Yeah.
But
speaking of,
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
I'll keep getting better.
Moving on.
Florida man, causing mayhem when he can. Driving drunk as a rule, alligators in his pool. Look out, here comes the Florida man. Oh, down!
A South Florida man claims in court that dancers at a local strip club drugged him and then ran up exorbitant charges on his credit cards while he was inebriated.
They drugged him. They drugged him with this sneaky. I know how they did it, Mondo.
With what?
They're like, we're gonna set up this whole elaborate facade. There'll be like a long narrow table, and behind it there's gonna be a bunch of bottles.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna put a secret liquid in the bottles
Mhm.
that's gonna make you lose your judgment a little bit.
Yep.
You're not gonna think as clear, but we're gonna make the bottle shiny, and they're gonna have fancy labels. And there's gonna be a bartender with big tits who's gonna be like, "Hey, do you want some of this liquid? Like, I'll give it to you if you give me some money." And the guy's gonna be like, "Oh, okay." You know, he thinks he's just drinking like
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper or like a slushy, or he doesn't know. And
Yeah.
he's drinking this liquid, and then it's they drugged him. It is a drug.
Yeah.
I think he's technically correct, is what I'm getting at. What I'm trying to say is he bought alcohol at a bar, and that lowered his inhibitions, and technically he's correct.
Yep. A South Florida man claims in court that dancers at a local strip club drugged him and then ran up exorbitant charges on his credit card while he was inebriated. In a complaint filed in Broward County, Florida on Thursday, plaintiff Larry Einbinder, whatever, says he was patron at the Vixens Gentlemen's Club in Davie, Florida on the evening of July 14th and early morning hours of July 15th, and that after he had only a few drinks, he became groggy and highly intoxicated. Only a few drinks, yeah.
Quick question: where was this again? What part of Florida?
Broward County, Florida.
Okay.
City of Davie, Florida. Anyway, Einbinder, who is being represented by Gary Ostro from Fort Lauderdale, maintains the state of intoxication was far more than would normally be expected from the ingestion of a few normal cocktails. Based on that assertion, he believes the drinks served to him by Vixen's employees had been chemically altered and that they took advantage of him due to his intoxicated state.
He's saying there was some extracurricular shenanigans.
He's saying he got roofied or something.
Or maybe, what the fuck did the pledges put in my drink on my 21st birthday?
Fire? No, 151.
It was, yeah. Could have been that.
Mixing 151 with like tequila or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, for my case, it wasn't even tequila. I was just drinking, like, there were like those little like fruity like apple drinks or something that had very little alcohol.
Yeah.
And then they put like, what is 151? What proof is that?
It's 151 proof or 75% alcohol.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. 75.5%. Anyway, without Mr. Einbinder's knowledge and consent, dancer employees of Vixen's purchased several expensive cocktails and bottles of champagne and charged those items to the plaintiff's American Express card, as well as other credit cards in the plaintiff's possession, the complaint says. According to the complaint, the club also charged Einbinder obscene amounts per hour for the dancer's services and their company. Einbinder goes on to assert that the dancers plied him with cocaine to manipulate him and take advantage of him. Nice. He alleges that Vixens provided him with bills that did not show the amounts charged to his credit card nor specified the services for which he was charged for. The unauthorized charges made to his account totaled $17,474. He claims that the strip club allowed its employees and management to exploit him and steal from him. He is seeking compensatory damages.
You were so close on that. Compensatory.
Compensatory. Man, my nose is stuffed. Leave me alone. Damages on claims of violation of the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act, civil theft, intentional infliction of emotional distress, unjust enrichment, and contract. Vixen's Gentlemen Club did not respond to email and phone requests for comments on the lawsuit.
I'm really disappointed. I'm at the Vixen's Cabaret website. And
it exists.
I wanted to. What
the website?
Yeah, of course. It's every business has a website. I'm really disappointed because I wanted to see if I could find the stripper names, which is always highly entertaining. It's like it's Candy, and I mean, the one thing though about this website, I'm very impressed. I think their logo is solid.
Oh yeah,
it's like a kind of a Roman font, like VI, and then ENS, but then there's this big. Almost looks like graffitied, like red X in the middle. Vixens with the X. I was like, good job, Vixens. You got a graphic designer and you got strippers who know how to roofie you guys. You're fucking top of your game. But here's the other part, Mondo. This is the reading the blurbs. Hottest girls in South Florida. It's like, well, it's not okay. Men, women, and the LGBT community welcome.
Oh no.
Okay, so that's fine. Corporate and private parties. It's like I would love to.
If that dude rolled alone and if a guy rolls alone to strip club and spends 17 grand, I think I don't know. That just sounds like he's got a case. It sounds like he's got a point. Like
I think he might have, but also who the fuck keeps 17K like in their checking account or was it on credit cards? Like
credit card probably. They probably saw like he may have walked in looking like a baller and like, oh, this guy's got money.
This is the last thing though on their checklist, which cracked me up. They also offer, besides the corporate and private events, you can do birthday and divorce parties.
Nice.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, women do divorce parties.
You get divorced and you're just like, boys, this is
yeah. I don't
it's like
think,
a second bachelor party.
I think divorce parties are more of a woman thing. I don't know that guys have divorce. Like it wouldn't like let's say you got married and got divorced. It's not like, hey, Aaron, let's have a divorce party. Let's go to. It's just like
maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, because. Did you ever have one of those nights where you broke up with a girl and then you just get fucked up with your friends?
Yeah, but we don't go to a strip club and spend a ton of money.
Right, because that was just a little regular breakup. If it was a divorce where it's like, maybe it starts out good. Year 1 and 2 are okay, but by year 7, you're just I fucking hate that bitch. I can't.
Yeah.
And then like the divorce goes through, and you're like, yes.
Yeah, like
freedom. You're William Wallace.
If one of our
freedom.
If one of our friends married a chick that we all were like, oh no, she's just a biatch. Like, what are you doing marrying her? And then they got divorced, then yeah, I could see us be like, dude, we told you, like all of us, we told you.
Let's use a completely made up name. We'll call her, what was her name? Jen Lawrence.
You're fucked up. You're an
what?
asshole.
No,
I liked her. I liked her.
Who?
Jen Lawrence.
That fictional character?
That fictional character.
Yeah.
She was my Lancer little sister. She was nice to me.
I was just jokes.
Okay. So that was it for Florida Man. Moving on, we are now going to the world of Reddit. A couple questions there. Question number 1, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of drugs,
yeah,
what drug will you never touch again and why?
The short version is a resin hit.
Uh-huh.
Would you like the longer version?
Yes. Please elaborate.
Okay.
I know what a resin is, but sure, tell us a story.
So little 18-year-old Aaron.
A little.
Yeah, I mean, I was at that point I was actually probably bigger than I am now.
Yeah.
I've shrunk. I was 6'1" at that point. I'm only 6 feet tall now.
Oh no.
Yeah, little 18-year-old Aaron. This is we've gone through the excitement and of was it like freshman orientation, and you're like, wow, college fucking sucks. This isn't how I pictured it. But then I get to go to my first college party, and of course it wasn't at Whittier because Whittier doesn't do college parties. So my freshman roommate and I went to an apartment near the UCLA campus. I guess that's Westwood. Is that right?
Yep.
And we show up, and there was supposed to be a party, and it's just dead. It's like 4 dudes. They're just sitting there. There's nothing happening. And I'm just disappointed. Like I'd seen movies, Mondo.
Yeah.
I'd seen Animal House.
Yep.
Like this is my idea of college, and it's like there's no parties have happened the whole first week at Whittier that I knew about anyway. And the first one, it's like just 4 dudes chilling in an apartment, and one is coding. And my roommate's like, dude, this dude's fucking badass. He's the only dude I know who can code drunk. And I'm like, Andrew, I can't express how many fucks I do not give.
Oh no, that's the worst.
about his ability to code drunk. And then one of them is like, no, boys, we are not going down like this. We're going to fight the good fight this night. We're going to go out and we're going to get 40 40s.
Oh shit. Between like 6 guys, roughly.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
He wasn't fucking around. And they go out to, I don't know where you get 40 40s. I don't think you can just roll into a 7-Eleven and pick up 40 40s.
You'd have to go to a couple different places. Yeah.
But
unless you mix and match. But anyway.
They come back with just like crates of 40s.
Nice.
And they set them out. It was very visually appealing. It was like majestic. They're like, yeah. And then I think they remembered that 40s taste like ass, and nobody wanted to drink them. And I'm like, this is my moment. I'm gonna channel John Belushi. I'm gonna channel Artie Lang. I'm gonna channel all the SNL actors that died young.
Yes.
Like this this is it. I'm ready. So I start drinking 240s. I'm just double, and I have no concept. I've never had a 40 before in my life. Like I had like a few beers at that point, and I'm just getting into it. And they're like, dude, this guy's double fisting 40s. Yeah, I'm like feeling like, yeah, fucking I am. Maybe this is it. Maybe I'm a party animal. Maybe I have the best alcohol tolerance of anyone who's ever lived in the world. This is my moment.
A malt liquor, no sir.
So then they start. They're smoking out of a bong, right? These guys are just taking hits of the bong, and it gets to the very end, and once you've gone through like all the actual like weed, it's basically just like the
like black tar,
dark evil,
Yeah.
whatever terrible essence is in weed just congeals into this exactly dark tarry mass of shit and filth and just hatred at the
Yeah.
bottom of the bong. And they're like, hey, random freshman who's double fisting 40s, we think you should smoke this. And I'm like, yes.
Okay.
Yes, this sounds like a great idea. I'm not going to think this through because, like our Florida friend, my judgment is completely out the door at this point. I'm just committed to being a party animal. And so I
prior to that, how many times have you smoked just weed in general?
just weed, probably like 6.
So you were not an
No.
enthusiast by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I'd smoked like a couple, maybe probably not even 6, maybe 3.
Okay, so you smoked 3 times pot ever, and then you're going to this party after having a ton of malt liquor, and you decided.
No, I was probably like halfway through each 40. So
Okay,
I was probably like
a 40.
Yeah, a 40 or maybe a 40 and a half.
Sure.
So I line up for this resin shot. It was definitely also the first time I'd ever smoked out of a bong. Like I think I had to ask for instructions. Like, do you guys have like a user's manual for this? Like, how do you? And they're like, you just suck.
Did you put your mouth over the bong just like you put your mouth over the microphone?
It was a big bong, so unless I was a snake and could have unhinged my jaw,
Oh no!
or I was one of those strippers that worked at that strip club, I don't think I could get my mouth
Nice.
around something that thick.
Nice.
Sometimes
a bong is just a bong.
So exactly. So I take what in hindsight was way too big of a hit. Like I'm trying to inhale the smoke all the way down into my toes, and for a second I see a look of concern on these guys' faces, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I might have overstepped a little bit. And like I kind of like step back, and they're like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, am I okay? And I take a big swig of one of the 40s, and it's like,
oh shit,
I'm 18 years old, I'm invincible.
Yeah.
And I just passed out.
Nice.
Just cold. And I wake up.
No puke, nothing like that. Nothing. You didn't get sick at all.
Not that time, no.
Not that time.
No, because I actually didn't have that much malt liquor in my stomach.
Yeah.
It was just the combination of those two. And I wake up on the couch, like, I don't know, sometime in the night. And now there's a huge party.
Oh,
There's people everywhere.
Oh,
and the party's fucking jumping. I'm like trying to like pick my head up. Like I can, it's not working. I'm like, oh, I don't have control of my limbs right now. And I kind of like roll my eyes back and I look, and there's a girl sitting next to me on the couch. To this day, probably most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life.
No.
Right. And there's light from, this is like a second or third story apartment. So there's light from the window behind her coming in, and she's silhouetted in this light. It's like bouncing off her hair. It's glowing. Looks like a literal fucking angel.
Oh no.
And she goes, it was so much like hope and optimism in her voice. She goes, guy on the couch, you're awake. And I go, yeah, I'm a worm.
Oh, boo.
Like, I was trying so hard and just black out again, just lose consciousness.
No.
And I mean,
Are you sure that wasn't a dream, dude? That girl.
no, because that Mondo. It is a blessing or a curse. I don't like forget things from when I'm fucked up.
Uh-huh.
Like my ability to perceive them might be off, right? Like if I've drank a lot, like it might be like I'm looking through
Yeah,
like
it is
goggles with Vaseline smeared on them or something.
yeah.
But
No, that's a blessing. You don't want to black out. It's not fun.
so she was. It's possible she was not as attractive as I perceived her to be, but she was definitely there.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, the crazy part, I woke up the next morning and was like, kind of like, "Bleh," like, have you ever seen one of those nature videos where like a honey badger, those are those like crazy little
I know what they are, but no, I've not seen a honey badger.
so like they'll like fight like 5 tigers, like they're the most insane animal.
Yeah.
And there are these clips of them where they'll get bitten by like a cobra, like a king cobra, and there's something about their metabolism where they can just filter the poison out.
Oh shit.
So like they get bit, it looks like they're dead, and then like 5 minutes later they're just like and they just get up and walk off. And that was kind of me the next morning, because I've had after that, there were many times where I had really bad hangovers and I was fucked up and everything. But that next morning, I was just sort of like, and just got up and I was like, I will never take a resin hit again. Fuck that.
Resin hits are like weed is not expensive. Weed is pretty cheap when you compare like to all the other illicit drugs, if you want to call it a drug. Resin is like, I'm too broke to buy weed. I'm gonna smoke the shit trash leftover crap of weed. And that was the thing we did in college. But when you have a job, you're like, yeah, I don't need to smoke this nonsense. I'd rather pay for good green. Anyway, my story is I'm gonna make it a little quicker. I was 28ish, 29, 30, give or take, and I was living in Bakersfield, California, and I had this headache that would not go away. Hadn't eaten all day, but when you have headaches, you take a couple aspirin and drink a shitload of water, and that hopefully makes it go away. Took a couple ibuprofens, pretty strong ones, and drank a shitload of water. And like an hour later, it still did not go away. Like my head was still throbbing. I had this coworker who gave me a pill, a big yellow pill, probably the size of your thumbnail. He's like, here, take this. This will make your headache go away. Didn't tell me what it was. And I took the whole thing, drank it with water, and probably within 15 to 30 minutes, I was getting hot flashes. I was getting like...
You were going through menopause?
Yeah. Hot flashes. Hands are shaking. Felt a little bit like nauseous, not like getting ready to throw up, but like on the verge of it. And then I asked him what it was. He's like, dude, that's an Oxycontin.
Oh,
And so yeah, I will.
no.
Apparently, that guy took 2, 3, 4 of those things a day, per day, every day. Just he must have had some kind of immunity / addiction to those things. Whereas for me, I've never had it. I mean, I've had Vicodin and other kind of pain things, but that Oxycontin on an empty stomach, never again, dude. It made me feel very, very like vulnerable. Like I imagine how some people when they smoke weed,
like emotionally, like you wanted to talk about
the
relationship you had with your dad.
Yeah. No, but you know how some people don't
He
like...
never said he loved me.
You know, some people don't like the effects of like losing control when they smoke weed or get too fucked up. Like it's not their vibe.
Yeah, me too.
I'm okay with all the other stuff. It was just with this one pill, like the effect I felt was like, no, never again. But I will never... Oxycontin, never. I mean, fuck that shit. Some of the Redditors answers to that question. User Nickoma420 writes, alcohol or cocaine? I used and abused them for a solid 15 years of my adult life. Lost a house, my partner, and had a web of lies. I hated being tangled in. Jesus. So October 3rd, 2017, I entered a 5-week inpatient rehab facility and haven't touched them since. Good for you, young man.
I want to go to one of those facilities. I don't really have drug or alcohol problem. It seems like it would just be really chill.
Yeah, like relaxing, huh?
I want to do smart therapy.
Like a vacation.
I feel like I could have a positive influence on the other addicts.
User Anteru writes, Ambien. Was prescribed Ambien because I wasn't sleeping during a rough time in my life. I woke up in my truck, parked in the driveway with the keys in the ignition. No idea what happened. Did I sleepwalk drive? Did I hurt anyone? Scared me so bad I never took it again. I've heard of stories like that. Where people take Ambien.
Have you ever taken it?
No.
I think I took it once and I didn't. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't have any like sleepwalking or anything, but it definitely zonks you out.
Yeah. I heard. This was, I don't know if there's truth to this or not, but like Roseanne Barr had a Twitter account many years ago, and she would tweet.
That was fairly recent.
Sure, and she would like tweet some random crazy shit on the internet, and then whenever she'd get backlash, she was like, "Oh fuck, I fucked up. I was on Ambien." That was kind of her excuse for saying stupid shit.
See, the problem though with that is I think that might be true. Like she might not have tweeted that if she wasn't on Ambien, but I think those thoughts were in there.
Yeah.
It was just the Ambien
Lubricating
was well. Interesting choice of words. Let's never. Okay, here, Mondo. Let's make a pact right now. We're never going to use the like Roseanne Barr and lubricated again in the same sentence.
Sure.
Because you gave me a mental image I just didn't want. We had enough, cigars, just a cigar and some. Anyhow,
last one I'll read for that question. User Azuriage writes, cocaine. It doesn't do anything for me except make me want more cocaine. I don't feel any more energetic or alert. I don't feel a sense of euphoria. I don't get anything out of it except for the desire to do more cocaine. I've never done cocaine. I don't think I've never been curious to try anything but weed and alcohol. Like it just never.
Well, you said you've done mushrooms.
Oh yeah, but okay, sure. I've done mushrooms, weed and alcohol. Sorry, but any outside of that stuff, I just like 0% curiosity to try cocaine, heroin, like even like
you don't want to do some of the party drugs.
Oh, you know what? Oh wait, I think I did. I think I was given ecstasy one time, but I didn't feel anything.
When you tried Oxycontin,
but that was on accident. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, you can't fuck around like that now. Like, if you do shit like that now, where someone just gives you some random pill and you end up dead, man.
Yeah,
like fentanyl's all over the place.
Yep. Last question for AskReddit, or second question for AskReddit. Since this week, holiday's coming up, what is the perfect gift for moms on Mother's Day?
Real short answer for this. I'm just gonna build her a garden planter.
A garden, okay. You gonna do it for the front of the house or the back of the house?
No, she wanted from one in the back, and they're really expensive. So I was like, I could just build that.
I imagine they're pretty easy to build. I don't think that they're that complicated.
It depends on how nice you want to make it. I'm gonna make one that's pretty nice. So it's not like the hardest bit of carpentry, but there's still a little bit.
I think that's a good gift because it's not just like something you bought, it's something that you put time and effort and energy in, and it's something that she wants. I think that's a great gift.
Yeah, and I mean, time is at a premium. Here's the other fun part. I still have like the emergency credit card from college. So I used that to buy the lumber. So it's like, Dad, you're getting her the lumber from a garden planter, and I'm gonna fucking build it.
That's awesome.
You're welcome, Mom.
Mother's Day gifts. You know what? I feel like every time I've gotten my mom something for Mother's Day or her birthday or Christmas or whatever, name a holiday, I feel like she doesn't. Kwanzaa. I feel like she just like she's like, like I never I never get like a level of like appreciation from her when I remember one time she was really into like this Coldplay song, and I went and bought the CD, the Coldplay, and I even bought her like an MP3 player and put the MP3s on it. So I did all this extra little shit, and like she never used the MP3 player. I don't know what the fuck happened to the CD. It was like, what the hell? Like, anyway, so for me, Mother's Day gifts have become less of me trying to be thoughtful. It's more of like, here's a gift card to a restaurant. Here's money. Go have fun with it, and that's just it. I don't. Oh, you know what? I think I've done. Oh no, this was a Christmas gift, but I used to give her like gift cards to like massage places just for her to kind of go and relax and just be a vegetable for a day, just kind of unwind. And
what kind of massage places?
Asian massage places, duh, the best kind. Do
Asian massage places have a happy ending for women?
I bet you there is. But probably not as many, but I bet you there is.
Is there? I wonder if there's like a separate AskReddit that's just like fucked up AskReddit.
Yeah,
it's just you can direct all these degenerate questions to.
User justme_66 writes, time and love. Yeah, but you can't give time and love.
Unless you're Sigmund Freud,
I guess.
then you can give your mom love. But
User Plugsy writes flowers and a lot of appreciation. Okay, that's not a. All right.
I don't really like flowers as a gift because they die so quickly.
Yeah, yeah. User Slow Device 420 writes, I'm not a mom, but my mate is, and she was having a hard time one year, single mom. So I booked her a spa thing with massage, etc., and looked after her kids for the day. She still goes on about how good it was 2 or so years later.
Can I tell you a really fucked up joke
Sure.
from Anthony Jeselnik's special Fire in the Maternity Ward?
Uh-huh.
Anthony Jeselnik normally does a lot of like very short one-liners and stuff, but in that special, he tells this extended 15-minute story where he took a friend of his to get an abortion.
Oh shit.
Like it was like, like she needed someone to go with her,
Uh-huh.
and he's talking about trying to pick out, like he doesn't know if he should get her something, and he's like Googling like what gift you get for someone after an abortion. And the thing, I guess the thing said that like the worst gift to give someone is like a plant, because he's like, yeah, here's another thing you can't take care of.
Here's another thing you can't take care of and it could possibly die.
And then Anthony Jeselnik goes, no, that's not the worst gift. The worst gift to give someone after an abortion is a to-go box.
Oh
I was like,
no.
Jesus Christ, Anthony. The funny part though, I was surprised. I showed my dad that special and he got really offended. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it's abortion jokes. I mean, it's not in great taste, but that's what he's going for. Anyhow.
A couple more before we wrap up AskReddit. User Yutsusimi-san writes, for my mom, nothing. She deserves nothing from me after all she has done to me.
Jesus.
Problems much? Last one I'll read. User AutoToad writes, a grandchild. Oh, fuck. If I gave my mom that as a Mother's Day gift, she would 100% be over the moon. Selfishly, she wants like a bajillion grandkids, but she's stuck with only 2. So that bums her out. But hey, that's life. And last thing we're going to talk about today is Binge or Purge, where we're going to discuss season 2 of Sweet Tooth. It's been out for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
I felt kind of weird watching it, like picking up season 2. Sometimes they don't do a good job of recapping what happened in season 1. It feels like it was so long.
Yeah, so I had to do the same thing. Anytime that happens, I highly recommend just going on YouTube. And there are people that give these like 10-minute recaps where they'll kind of go through each episode real quickly and just so let me do that very quickly for anyone listening. Sweet Tooth is a series that's post-apocalyptic. It's like a post-apocalyptic Disney series.
Mm-hmm.
Practically, I don't know how to put it. It's where there's been this terrible virus that has killed 98% of the population, and coinciding with this virus breaking out, which, by the way, it's not 100% clear how it's transmitted. I think it's a respiratory virus, but its main symptom is your pinky shakes, which whatever. Don't you just a lot of stuff in Sweet Tooth you just can't think too hard about.
Yeah.
And coinciding with this virus, a lot of human animal quote unquote hybrids are being born.
Yeah.
And it's basically just humans with cute ears.
Yeah.
But these animal humans and there's a question, it's like, did the hybrids cause the virus or did the virus cause the hybrids? We don't know. And the whole story follows a boy deer hybrid, and he's just a boy with some antlers and cute little ears. And he's been living in,
his name is Gus,
aka Sweet Tooth.
aka Sweet Tooth.
He's been living in Yellowstone National Park with his sort of dad, Pubba, and his dad
played by Will Forte.
and his dad dies, and then he goes on a quest of. But by the way, how the fuck did a cabin end up randomly in the middle of Yellowstone?
And it's a pretty badass cabin, if you ask me. It's not like a simple little square with the roof. It's like elaborate looking.
Well, that shit wasn't a code either. You're looking at like that roof. Like I'm like, who built that? How does that keep rain out? Again, it's Sweet Tooth. Just don't think too hard about a lot of things. They're like, a lot of Sweet Tooth is more style over logic. which is fine. And then Gus meets up with was he a former football like defensive tackle or something?
Yes, like a defensive end defense. Big, tall, 6'4" black dude, weighs couple hundred pounds.
Shepard, aka wasn't his name Shep or something? Whatever.
Jeopard,
aka Big Man.
Big Man.
That's what Sweet Tooth calls him.
Uh-huh.
He calls him Sweet Tooth because he likes
candies
and maple syrup and what have you.
Yeah.
And they go on a quest to find Gus's mom, and you kind of find out that she was a scientist and she had something to do with the outbreak of this virus. And then it also picks up on a parallel story of another researcher scientist who's trying to find a cure for the virus, and his wife who's sick. And this all kind of climaxes in them finding this little colony,
like a sanctuary.
Yeah, it's a perfect word, Mondo. A sanctuary of hybrid children and who are living in a zoo. It's like, guys, writers, what if we have all the hybrid kids live in a zoo?
So the hybrids, because of the virus outbreak, the hybrids are kind of being used as a scapegoat for why the virus exists.
No, there weren't any goats. There's a pig, and there was an elephant. Which so
there's a kind of a militia called the Last Men that are out to hunt and eradicate all hybrid children. So there's this group of like maybe 10 or 12 or so, hybrid animals that found a sanctuary, and the first season leaves off where Gus encounters a sanctuary and
they get captured.
Then they get captured.
Big Man gets shot. Oh my God, is he dead? Yeah. No, probably not. Gus gets captured, and it's like, oh no, the comically evil general.
He reminds me. You know what he reminds me of? If you've ever played any of the Sonic the Hedgehog games, he reminds me
does a little bit.
Dr. Robotnik.
So he has this absurd sort of fanned out beard, and I'm really disappointed that they didn't have him literally twirl his mustache.
Yeah,
because he has those like tying a woman and putting her on the train tracks vibes.
Yep. Old timey.
So anyhow, that's where it picks off. Picks up. So basically, season 2 is the comically slow and incredibly poorly planned out rescue plan.
Yeah.
So let's not go through every episode one by one, but first and foremost, you have all these different hybrid children who have different sort of animal attributes. If you're doing a ranking tier system, who are your S tier animal kids?
The S tier animal kids. The monkey one is one of them, probably because she's got that tail and get to
she's
trouble.
got a prehensile. She can jump crazy high. She can climb on shit.
Yeah, I like that one.
What about Bobby? Where does he rank on the tier list?
Bobby's a little groundhog guy.
Yeah, or gopher or something.
Gopher, groundhog.
And he's the least anthropomorphic. Like he looks almost like he's an animal.
He looks like an animal, but he only. So one of the things with hybrids is not all of them can speak English. Only a few of them can actually speak English.
Except he can.
He could say like a few words, like very basic, like primitive 1-word, 2-word answers.
He's cursed with only being able to say words that make him sound cute.
Yeah.
He's like they're like Bobby, adorable. It's like, wow, that was a multi-syllabic word, Bobby. How'd you do that? Don't know. It's like, okay, all right, Bobby, we see what's up.
My favorite was when he comes out of the tank. That one scene where like there's an episode where there's like a roadblock, and these kids are like kind of rescued, quote unquote rescued, on a bus, and there's this roadblock in the way, and all of a sudden this tank comes up from behind them. We're like, oh no, the last man have caught up to the hybrid kids. And then they blow through this roadblock. It turns out like Bobby comes out of the tank.
Now, do you think Bobby was operating the turret in there?
Oh yeah, dude, he's got a good shot too.
And here's the other. I don't know if this is true or not. In my mind, in that scene, Bobby was wearing like a little like soldier's hat.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Like I don't know if he was. Where did they find like a 4-inch wide tank hat? So I mean,
you're asking too many questions, Aaron.
Oh, I forgot. Do not ask too many questions. Was there any of the other animals that really left an impression on you?
Well, you know that the pig girl Wendy, but I don't really know what makes her so special. I guess because she speaks English very well, just like Gus does.
Well, it also seems like she's the oldest,
Yeah,
and she was, I think she was the first one that. What was the lady's name that was caring for all of them?
I don't remember.
I can't remember her name
They
either.
just called. They would call her Mama, or
Mama.
Mommy, or something,
Mom, yeah, whatever. She I think she was the first one, and like they had kind of the deepest bond.
Yeah,
So she's sort of their leader because which makes sense, right? If she's oldest and she's the one that's helping them get acclimated and everything,
yeah.
and she definitely speaks here's the other thing where I'm confused. They said not all of them speak English,
Uh-huh.
but then it felt like all of them could speak English.
Yeah, there's only a couple that didn't, and even the ones that didn't would be able to sign in English, so at least they could communicate.
Which again, we're not going to think too hard about this, but there's this whole thing about where the last men didn't view them. They're like those things. They're not. They can't even. It's like the fuck. They can all talk, whether it's using sign language, but most of them can just like speak audibly, and they look exactly like humans with cute ears.
Yeah,
I think Wendy was her name, the pig girl.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like she's very well spoken, and she's just got like a little pig snout, and that's about it.
pigs now, and apparently she does have like a pig's tail because I think that the mommy character says something about her wiggly butt or wiggly tail or some. I forget how the fuck she phrased it,
but yeah, that again, we're not gonna think too hard about it.
Yeah, you don't see it, so who cares?
I mean, if this was like some Island of Dr. Moreau shit, that was a terrible movie adaptation. But like where they really were like kind of animal human hybrids and they were kind of grotesque and everything, that would make more sense. But these are like the cute.
yeah. None of them really have like these strange deformities that make them look ugly. They're all, like you said, they're all Disney cutie. They've all got characteristics of them that make them kind of like adorable to a degree.
I mean,
maybe the elephant one, but
oh, the one part. There was the one part where they were trying to haul him up, and then he that was some straight up Disney like Chippendales Rescue
that was
Ranger
awesome.
shit.
That was...
Where like he's like, I let go, I fall on them.
Yeah.
Guys, because he's an elephant.
Yeah, because he's big.
I mean, and
heavy.
Which he wasn't actually that big.
Yeah,
he was.
He's still kid size. He's still like 4 feet, whatever.
But he's husky.
Yeah,
he's a husky elephant boy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I had any. And I think my favorite, there was one who was an alligator.
Oh,
and I was like, yes, like that one is terrifying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if people were freaked out by him, I'd get it.
Yeah.
That dude.
Didn't he? And then he greets the group by attacking them because he's not sure if they're friendly or.
Oh, and he could also talk.
And he could also talk a little bit.
And then he had like just a normal human name, but yeah, he like gnaws off one of the guy's legs for a second. I'm like, yes, that's probably. This would make the Last Men's whole ideology make sense if they were like that.
Yeah.
But so I wanted him and Bobby to become like BFFs and have their own arc.
Yeah.
And it ends with the alligator eating Bobby.
Oh no, you can't do that to Bobby, dude. That's cruel. Horrible. So yeah, like Aaron said, for the most part, this season revolves around like a long drawn out rescue mission. Turns out Jep is not dead. Jep and Mom, I forget the character's name. Jep and Mom devise a plan to go and rescue these kids from the Last Men. The parallel story is again that gentleman's trying to come up with a cure with a disease because his wife's dying, and he's trying to connect the dots and figure out do these chickens that were raised in this lab have something to do with the
her name was Amy Eden.
Amy Eden.
Get it?
Eden.
Like the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Because she's created it. Anyhow, let's not get too into the weeds on the plot because it doesn't really make too much sense.
There are some really touching moments. I mean, when what's that little girl, Bear, when Bear reunites with her tiger friend, and then her tiger friend's trying to warn him but dies, and I was kind of sad in that moment. You weren't sad?
I have a couple nitpicks, just one or two.
All right.
And that was one of them. Let's talk about that one now.
Sure.
Maybe I would have been more sad Except, first of all, her friend just completely fucked her over.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, yo, it's nice that you guys sort of made up, but her friend was not a good person. Like, just sort of cast her out from their little animal army.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, it's nice that you guys made up for like 10 seconds and that she came to warn her, but I didn't really have too much
You're cold-hearted.
sentimentality for
You're a
that character.
cold person, Aaron.
Here's the other thing though. This is where even if I could have gotten past that, I'm like, how the fuck did she just find them randomly? Like, that was the whole point. It's like this huge, expansive Yellowstone, and there's a secret cabin tucked away where no one will be able to find it. And somehow she just made a beeline like right there. And it's like,
Don't ask too many questions here.
sorry, I forgot. I forgot.
So, going to your kind of a binge or purge go-to questions. Was there a best or worst character? Who were they in your mind?
I think okay, so for me, the best character was Dr. Singh.
Okay, all right.
So he's he seems like he's like British, but of probably like Indian heritage.
Uh-huh.
Like, that was, first of all, he was a little bit nuanced, right? Like, he was doing some things that maybe weren't so great, but he was trying to do it for greater good. He definitely felt conflicted about it.
Uh-huh.
But to me, he was the only one in the entire show that like his actions made like at least some sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I liked him. He was a nuanced character. He was trying to do the best he could and save humanity, and everyone around him was just fucking insane.
Yeah.
So and he formed a little bond with Sweet Tooth, but they didn't really trust him. I don't know. I liked him. The problem, I don't feel like his story was integrated well enough with the rest of it.
Uh-huh.
It felt a little disjointed, but I liked him as a character.
Yeah. What about worst character?
Oh, by the way, the other character I did like was the general's brother.
Yeah, he was interesting too, because especially like what the little bits and pieces you see of him in season 1, and you see more of him in season 2. He's also like this dual. You find out he's the general's brother in season 2. You didn't really know that. You're like wondering why he's kind of a little bit of a prick, and why he hangs with this guy, and he's like second in command, but why? Like, what makes him like he's kind of a goofy, dopey guy? Like, not really. He's definitely not a military-minded person. You ask yourself, like, why is he here? What's his purpose? Like, oh, you're the general's brother.
He's pretty chill, and like, obviously he's getting manipulated emotionally and physically a little bit. And here's the thing: if there was one episode where it was it's just like him wandering into the little enclosure where the kids are kept, and then he just sits down and sings every song in Simon and Garfunkel's catalog to them, that would be my favorite episode. Because
he does have a good voice. Apparently, the actor that plays him in real life is a musician, and he's like a singer in a band or something like that. I don't know the name of the band, but
and it was definitely shoehorned in. Didn't make the most sense, but they were on like him and the general were on a helicopter, like going to kill the animal kids or whatever. And the general's like, sing me that song from when we were kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is corny as shit. And then he starts singing The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel.
I don't know what song that is, but okay.
That's the song that he sang.
Okay.
You
sure.
You watched the episode.
Yeah.
And that was like the best rendition. I was like, could you just please just keep singing this song? I don't give a shit about anything else that's going on in this episode right now.
Yeah.
It was voice of an angel.
He does.
So who are your best characters?
Best character, I'm attached to
say Bobby. So help me God.
No,
okay.
the Jep character, Big Man. I like that he's like, he has a dark past. He had his mix-ins. He used to be a member of the Last Men, and he would hunt these hybrid kids. And then when he loses his family and his kid being possibly one of these hybrid kids, he flips the script. He's like, I'm no longer going to hunt these kids. I'm going to do my best to protect them. And obviously he develops a bond with Gus, and he ends up seeing Gus as his kid. I think there's a line in one of the one of the episodes where he says like that's my boy, or he said something along those lines where it was like, oh, that's my kid. That's, you know what I mean? So I like his character. You got this big burly, almost like protector defender guy, and I just like his character a lot, and what they did with him. You know, he has this dark past, but he's obviously trying to
Oh,
redeem himself.
and he also might be the best actor in the whole show.
Very good actor.
He's in Game of Thrones.
He was in Game of Thrones. He's also in. I think it's the same actor in Ted Lasso. I think
Was
he's.
it?
I think he's the African character's dad.
Oh, I think you're no.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right.
Maybe you're right. I can't remember.
Anyway,
Let's. You know what? I'm gonna look him up.
his name, I know the character in Ted Lasso. His name is like Oja or Oka or Osa or some. Anyway, but
Who who is your who do you think was the worst character?
God damn, I really I don't know. I like Wendy, but there's like parts of her that I'm like, you're kind of useless. Like I get it. I get what her role serves.
Well, and that God, that was the other part. This was going to be a nitpick. We can bring this up now though. Yeah, she's a little like cutesy and sweet, and it's like okay, we already have Sweet Tooth. You know, like he brings all the cutesy and sweet. Like, and there was the one part where, understandably, one of their siblings gets like chopped up to use as a serum.
The chameleon kid.
Yeah, and he gets killed. And Sweet Tooth is trying to tell like what he thinks is a white lie to spare them,
right,
and like keep the morale up.
Yeah,
and it comes out that he didn't tell the truth, and then they just immediately turn on him.
Yeah,
and she's just like, "Yeah, fuck you, Sweet Tooth." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like, fuck off, Wendy.
Yeah, and then she does another flip and says like, "Oh no, Sweet Tooth, I got your back." A few episodes later,
it's like, goddamn it,
goddamn mind,
little bipolar.
Yeah. Who do you think?
Well, can I give
yeah.
I feel like the general is a fucking idiot, and two, like comically cartoon villain bad. I'm like, guys, come on. It's just like he doesn't give off any like but he might as well.
Just short of it, like everything with just shy of doing that kind of shit. You're like, you're expecting it from him, but I don't know.
He's running his hands through the. Perhaps we're gonna. Well, he literally has them saw off one of
Sweet Tooth's horns. Yeah.
Which actually that was like his best like cartoon villain thing. I'm like, wow, that got a little bit dark.
Yeah.
Okay, General, but it was just tough. There was the one part where they're like he has them dispose of some guy's body, and he's like doing a little dance. He's like dancing to like what?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's like some like classic rock song, and he's like dancing around.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, General. Yeah. But here's the other strategically fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like like how did this guy get to be a general?
Yeah.
Because every step of the way he's being outsmarted by like
little kids,
and nothing he does makes sense.
Yeah.
And the other part, this is the last, I'll rope this in to the general being a bad character and a bad leader. In the first season, didn't you kind of think like the Last Men was like this large, like imposing army?
Yeah.
And like they've got checkpoints and they're searching. It's like, oh my God,
they're all over the place.
Get the Last Men. Yeah, if they find us, that's it. I'm like, bro, it's like 20 guys.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
like one sniper could take out the whole Last Men army in like an afternoon.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Kind of silly. Do you who do you think won the show? Is there someone that won the show?
No.
So
I think maybe the comic book artist that like, because this was a graphic novel, right?
Okay.
Or something like that.
I think so, or a manga or something like that. I don't know.
If that guy's going to getting residuals, or he got some sort of option rights for this, that guy won.
My opinion, and I can't like name a person, but I think whoever was in charge of the soundtrack or the music or whatever for whether it being the theme song or even just music throughout the episodes, I think that person did a good like song choices they made sense thematically.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah.
So what were some
examples? like you the one that you mentioned about the helicopter, if you're listening to the lyrics, there is thematic tie-ins with the relationship between the general and the brother.
Yeah,
and,
it was a
and just
little on the nose, but sure.
so there's a lot of that stuff that happens. Like it's not quite subtle. It's kind of in your face if you're paying attention.
Mhm.
But a lot of the songs that the music choices that they make are kind of like interesting, and I felt that they were good ones.
Okay.
Last question, because we're a little bit over time, but overall, I think I know your answer. Binge or purge?
Had we not been reviewing this, I would have stopped watching probably midway through. Maybe to come back to it, but yeah, this Sweet Tooth, as we kind of preface, it's a show you just can't think too hard about a lot of the stuff. And in season 1, all that stuff, I'm like, whatever. It's animal children, and like we're not being too literal about it, but it just those things kept coming up again and again and again. Where I'm like, dude, guys, you're just beating me over the head with it.
So it was a binge for me. Apparently, there will be a third and final season of Sweet Tooth, but it's supposed to be nice and tidied up. So binge for me only because I kind of like that. Is like this was kind of what I was hoping Willow would be when we started watching Willow. It was fantasy and it was kiddie and you couldn't take it really serious.
This was significantly better than Willow.
Yes. So to me that's what makes it to me a binge. Of course, I could expect more from it, but I also was kind of like throwing away all that high expectations of what I'm supposed to.
It was just what's a good word? Too much of this season was stagnant.
Yes.
Right? It's just the kids sitting. It was like 6 episodes of them just sitting in a pen.
Yeah.
Where it's little things happening here on the periphery. But the other part is like they really could have escaped whenever.
Yeah.
Like they had like they're like fucking super powered kids. Like they can climb, the one can burrow. Like they could have if they had just done all that shit at night, there was like 20 last men. They could have just walked out.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I will revisit this, and this wasn't so bad where I definitely won't watch the 3rd season, but I'm not like hyped for it at this point.
So before we wrap up the episode, Aaron, there will not be an episode next week because I will be in Vegas for the weekend. Sorry, Degenerate Land, but we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Will there be anything else you want to add to this episode before we wrap it up?
No, I'm out.
Invicta was cool. Aaron and I went to Invicta this past Wednesday. I had a good time. I got a front row seat, and apparently I was my brother was watching it, and I was caught on camera a couple times. And there's also clips on YouTube of like the Invicta fights, and you'll see me in the background somewhere sitting front row. It was pretty cool. I had a good time. Much smaller venue. I think Aaron even said he liked this smaller venue versus the one in Broomfield. But that being said, hope you guys have a good Mother's Day weekend. If you're a mama out there, happy Mother's Day. We'll talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Have a good one. Thanks for listening and watching and all that shit. Bye-bye.